So today we're going to be looking at another little drift car. This is the Turbo Racing C-66 176 scale little Mitsubishi Lancer drift car. They've made some improvements to this. There's also a bunch of different features that we're going to be talking about. So let's crack this guy open and have a look at what you get. Now, for those of you that have been following for a little while, you probably would have seen me unbox and run the other two little turbo racing cars, which are these little guys here. The grey one is the drift one, and this is the touring car one. So they're both pretty much the same car, except one is got rubber tires on it, and this guy has got drift wheels on it. The thing is, this new one has got a few new features that we're going to be talking about. So they've made improvements to the gyro. They've also got some additional improvements with weight ballasting as well, so you can actually tune the car a little bit to how you like it. And we're also going to be opening it up inside and having a look at what this thing actually looks like with the body off, because it's actually really easy to take it off. I've done it once already. And it's really no big deal. So taking everything out of the box here, we have our instruction manual, the all-important instruction manual showing you how to set up your radio and plug your batteries in, what all the dials do and all that sort of thing. There's a really cool feature with the radio as well that I really like. A little leaflet here just in regards to the overall upgrades that they've made to this car. So we've got an upgrade, 3 major systems. We've got new counterweights, we've got adjustable wheelbase, which I find is really interesting, simulated rear-view mirrors, pluggable battery, and equipped with a brand new P36 remote control. So basically a new radio, which it's going to be really interesting to play around with that. And you'll see that in just a sec, but that's the little leaflet there. I think this is supposed to be like a little drift pad, so you can just try and drift in a circle with this little car. And then this is all that you get in the box. So what we're going to see here, we'll start with these little bodies. So these are the plain grey bodies that you get. So if you want to get creative and paint these up as something else, you can do that. There's interiors for them as well. There's little mirrors in there and things like that. For you to, decorate that car. The other one is pretty much the same thing, but there is an extra packet in here. This packet is for the underglow lights. So these colored strips here is actually going to give you different color underglow lights. And these two black ones here, this is what came on the car as standard. And I've already taken them out to sort of have a bit of a play around with them. And I've put some colored lights. I think I used the yellow ones from memory, and put the ballasts there. So if you want to use these extra weights, these are actual aluminium. Obviously you're not going to have underglow lights, but if you want the underglow lights, you're going to have to take these little ballasts out. So that's those. And then of course the car itself, look how cool this little guy is. Very, very nice looking car. You can see underneath very much the same like the other ones. Just probably can't get too close because my camera's struggling to focus if I get too close. But there it is there. So we have a little bind plug there. We've got our charge port, and the on and off switch is just over here. And that's it there. So you got lights, mirrors, spoilers. Very, very cool looking car. This is actually smaller than the other ones too, by the way. So if I grab this guy, you can see that it's actually quite a bit smaller. The wheelbase is different too. So you'll see there that they've managed to pack more into a smaller package, which I didn't think it was possible, but there we have it. So that's the car. As we move along, this top layer here, we're going to see a different wheel for the remote. So if you want to change out the green wheel, you can use the grey. I'll pop that back in there. There's also a grey grip handle to go with that wheel. And then on this side, there are a couple of tools. We have a little tiny screwdriver. which is going to help us take the body off. And there's also an Allen key, which I believe is what you're going to use to remove the actual wheel on the remote. So those tools are included in the kit. Move that aside, and we move on to, before we get to the remote, a couple of charge cables. So we have a USB-C to USB-C cable. This is going to be used to charge the car from the remote, if that's what you want to do. And then we also have a USB-C to USB-A charge cable. So this will go from like a power brick to the remote if you're going to use a specific battery on the remote, or you can even charge the car as well. There's a body clip in here. I'm not entirely sure what that is, but interesting that they've included one. I think I know what it's for, and I'll show you in a second, but we'll put those aside. Moving on to the remote itself, here it is. It comes in two halves, just like the other ones, and basically this slides in here and clips into place. The batteries are in there, and the batteries did come included with this radio, which I do appreciate. So pop that in there like that, and away you go. You're ready to rock and roll. Radio is as follows. We have our on and off switch just here. We have our gyro dial just here, so you can turn it off or turn it on depending on what you want to do. We have throttle trim, which you generally don't touch. We have steering trim, which can be adjusted. We also have steering dual rate and throttle dual rate over here. On top of throttle dual rate, there's also a 20%, 50% and 100% setting right up the top there. And this is a reverse switch for your steering, if for whatever reason you want to reverse that. These are your light switches here. So I think this one here turns on the underglow lights, and then this one kind of flicks through between off on the headlights and tail lights to on, and then you can have them flashing as well on the headlights and tail lights. The wheel feels fantastic, really nice radio, very comfortable in the hand, especially with the rubber grip back here, and the trigger actually feels really nice. So the only, I suppose, criticism I have for this radio is you can't just sit it down somewhere. It has to be laying down. It won't even sit straight this way. And then last but not least, there's our USB port just back there, USB-C for you to charge the car up from the radio if you want to do that. So that's the radio itself. Moving on to a couple of last things in here. We have a spare battery tray for the radio. So what this is for is if you want to use 18650 batteries instead of 4 AAAs, I think it is, you can do that. So you can run an 18650 and away you go. You know, you can probably charge it via the radio maybe, but that's what that's for. So you can basically take out those 4 AAAs and use that. And then last but not least, I'll just put that back in there. There is one more thing in this box, and it's a receiver, like a normal size receiver. And this is a 5-channel receiver with a spare 5-channel receiver with a spare 6-channel for your BEC. So it's got a power port there as well. So there's 6 ports in total. This is really cool because you can actually use this radio on a normal car if you want to do that. So it's entirely up to you if that's something that you find useful. Otherwise, it's just a spare receiver that you're going to keep in the box until maybe a rainy day someday. So that's essentially everything that you get in the box. So now I guess all that's left to do is take this guy for a drive and show you how it goes. Okay, so I'm going to give you a quick demo of what this drives like. For this demo, I'm going to have the gyro turned all the way up, and that'll give you an idea of how this thing drives. Now, with the gyro all the way up, it's kind of hard to get into a drift, and the car wants to constantly correct itself. So just bear that in mind. I will turn that down and play around with it a little bit as we go along. Before we get started, I'll show you what the lights do. So as I bring this up here a little bit, if we again press this little button here, you'll get the underglow lights. As you can see there, I've gone with the orangey yellow color. If we flick this switch forward one, we're going to get the headlights and tail lights to turn on. And if we flick it forward one more time, these will blink like crazy. Okay. So we're going to have the lights just on, I think, would be the best way to do it. And you can see that the gyro is working like crazy. So let's get into it. I'll show you how this thing drives. As you can see, it's starting to correct itself, and it's got the wobbles. It's almost like the gains on the gyro is really high. So I'm trying really hard. So I'm pretty much full lock on the wheel here to try and get it to drift. So gyro all the way up, kind of hard. And this is a pretty slippery table. So just really trying to get that drift going. It's quite challenging with the gyro all the way up. So we're going to turn this down to about halfway. So the gyro is now pointing at about 6 o'clock. Okay. And you're going to see a significant difference in the way this handles, and I'll probably need to adjust my driving a bit. There you go, see? It turns quite easily. And it doesn't have those wobbles anymore. Now it's actually probably a little bit challenging to actually drift and hold that drift. But you can just sort of sit there and do donuts if you want to. I find that 6 o'clock is not quite right. I prefer to have it around 5-ish, somewhere between 4 and 5 in the analog clock face. And that kind of works the best, so I can have good control of the drift, as you can see here. Keep the drifts nice and wide, and I can also tighten them up if I want to. So I can go wide and then tighten them up if I need to. And shifting directions, it's very much the same thing. So tight and then go nice and wide with it if I want to. That's where I find the gyro works the best, is around 4 or 5 o'clock, somewhere around there. If we turn it all the way off, so just to give you an idea of what it's like with the gyro all the way off, it's basically really, really hard to control, as you can see. Without even trying, this thing just spins around on itself. So, yeah. That gives you an idea, with gyro off, the type of performance you're going to get. So that's essentially it. I think the battery might be going a little flat. I haven't quite charged it. Yeah, it seems like it might be going a bit flat. So let's turn the lights off. And now I'll get to show you underneath the hood so you can see what this guy is actually made up of and how it all works and how you can change out those ballasts. Okay, so before we wrap this up, I'm going to show you the insides of this little guy. But before we get started, let me bring this cloth over here. So number one, I don't lose the screws, they don't go rolling off the table. And number two, there's a nice little contrast there. So we're going to use our little tool here. This is a flathead screwdriver. These are Phillips head screws, but don't let that bother you. It'll actually work quite well. A couple of turns on that one. Couple of turns on this screw. These are the only two screws you really need to remove. Pop them out. There they are there. And basically, to take the body off, all you got to do is just lift it off, just like that. Very, very simple. And then you'll see the rear and front diffusers are right there. Okay. Now these are actual aluminium. They have a little bit of weight to them. These are not plastic. We'll put those to the side. And there is our car, all right? So just a bunch of electronics, the battery, the board, little antenna for the receiver, and you've seen the underside there as well. Now you can see the little yellow little plastic pieces that go on the side there. That's where these counterweights go, because the car does actually handle a little bit differently with the counterweights. The counterweights came on the car as standard, and then of course you can switch it out. You can switch it out to whatever color LEDs you want. Now I think I've got my radio on. No, I don't. Let me turn my radio on, and we'll turn the car on. Where's the switch? There it is. And there you can actually see where those LEDs are and how this actually works, right? So that's how you get the underglow lights. It's just 4 little tiny LEDs on two on either side. So let's turn those off, and we'll just pop these out. So these just very simply, if you can get a fingernail underneath there, they just pop out. Okay, it's nothing too complicated. They just pop out like so. And now you can put these guys in. I don't think there is a left and right. I think they're both exactly the same. Flat side to the bottom. And you basically just push that in. Here we go. Yep. All right, that went in. And now this guy over on this side. Pop that in there. There we go. And that's it. Okay. There's our little car with now the extra ballast weights. To put it back together, I put the car in first like so, and then the bumpers go on. So the front one actually needs to sort of like go underneath. So you'll push it in. You might want to lift the nose of the car up a little bit. Actually, other way around. The front one goes over the top. It's the rear one that goes underneath. So when you put this on, if you can see there, you lift it up a little bit and it goes in there like so. So you can see there's a tiny little lip on the chassis that goes over the rear bumper. And then it's just a matter of putting the screws back in. Take your time with this, don't lose the screws. And tighten them up. You don't have to crank them too hard. As long as they're tight, they won't be going anywhere. Whoops. Let's see if I can get this one back in. Here we go. And there you are. Now we've got our ballast on there. And if we turn the lights on, so that's the lights on. You can see the lights are on underneath there, but you don't actually get any lights. So the car, I think, handles, well, you can't see it there. The car, I think, handles a little bit nicer with the ballasts. It has a bit more weight, so it actually handles a bit better. But of course, you lose those LEDs. Yeah, it just depends on how you want the car to handle. What's more important to you, the way it looks or the way it drives? All right. So that's going to leave it here for this unboxing and first look at the turbo racing little C-66 Mitsubishi Lancer drift car. Beautiful little car, really enjoy it, and hopefully you enjoyed this video as well. Don't forget to give the video a like before you go, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll be speaking to you all next time.